Do you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Financial Group, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing fine. I'm glad to be able to share today's show with you. And the title of the show is Growing Pains. That's right. Growing pains. Growing. We all have to make a conscientious decision to grow. And one of the things that I've learned is this: change is inevitable. That's right. Change is inevitable. You are going to have to change either by choice or by force. But before I get into the show, I want to share something that happened with me a little while ago. And I'm always experiencing things and, having things happen to me. And I was attending a conference online here in Hawaii. And the conference started at 4:30 a.m. my time, which is 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Normally, I get to travel out there and get a day to adjust or whatnot. And then, get up, get a little workout in. And of course, my time, it's like 12 a.m. midnight, and I'm getting up at 6 a.m. East Coast time to get a workout in and to get ready for the conference. And so this year, I was up at about, I think, three something in the morning getting ready for the conference. And I did it, 3 days in a row. And the last day, I woke up, the same thing, super early. And nothing was really open per se. So I went to 7-Eleven, got a cup of coffee, went to the spot where I normally do my devotional type of thing in the mornings. And, I sat there and I, went through the show, the presentation for the conference. And, on break, I decided to go, hop in the car and then drive to the ocean and just kind of let things soak in. And one of the things that they were presenting was about the trials and the tribulations of growing a business and being a successful, financial advisor and planner. And, I'm always thinking about, all right, how can I do better at this? How can I do better at that? And one of the things they said was, it's not about what, but who. And then it struck me as I was walking to the car and I was getting in the car, and the thought came to my head, why do CEOs make 10, 15, 20, $30 million per year? Why? Because they're responsible for the vision, and the main thing is they're held accountable to their shareholders. They have people that they have to answer to, so they have to come up with the ideas, come up with the vision, and then hire the people to put the right people in place, just to carry it out. And I've always thought to myself, I'm not a great leader. I'm great when it comes to planning and advising and different things of that nature. But when it comes to being a leader, I used to tell myself, I'm a great worker, but I'm not a good leader. I don't like managing people. I don't know what I would do if I had a staff of 20 people. I'd probably go nuts or something, because it's just been my thing. And as I got in the car, it hit me. You're never going to get anywhere thinking that way. If you're not a great leader, guess what? In order to be successful, you have to become one. And right then and there, it struck me, you got to grow. You have to grow. You cannot stay stagnant where you are. You got to grow. So, are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. All right, so Growing Pains. This is an interesting show. It's a very serious show. And I want to give you guys an analogy. A lot of times in life, we're waiting on something great to happen. And, for Christians, we say things like, well, it's just not my time yet. God, is not ready for me to have this thing yet. It's not time yet. And I'm praying and waiting. And then someday, at the right time, he's going to check the box and boom, I'll have my prayer answered. I'll have my dreams come true. But I got to lay this foundation. Okay. I'm going to go to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. And it says, for we are God's own handiwork, amplified version, his workmanship, recreated in Christ Jesus, born anew, that we may do those good works which God predestined, planned beforehand, for us, taking paths which he prepared ahead of time, that we should walk in them, living the good life which he prearranged and made ready for us to live. Boom. It's already been done. It's already been done. We simply have to walk in that which has already been prepared for us. And we have to do it by faith until what we are working on arrives. Okay, and let me explain to you something. Let's say, for example, your kid is 3 years old and you bought him a bike that was too big for him. It's for a 10-year-old, but your kid is only 3. What has to happen for your kid to be able to ride that bike? He has to grow. And the bike can be sitting right there before him. He can see the bike, but he can't ride it until he grows. The scripture I just put out there is your bike. Your dreams, your big goals. That's your bike. You can see them, but you can't reach them. Why? Because you have to grow. Now, I think there's 3 areas that we must deal with on our quest for growth. If we don't deal with these and come up with a strategic way to handle these, we are never going to grow. Growing pains. One of the things we must tackle is the mental side of it. We have to tackle the mental side of it. And here's where we start. Number 1, we have to make a decision to grow. Now, my show is about finances. And if you follow what I'm saying to you, you will be successful financially. But first, you have to make a decision that you want to be successful financially. You have to make a conscientious decision that you want to live a life of more than enough. More than enough. Not enough. More than enough. Why? Because if you have just enough, that's only good for you and your family. I believe we are called to make a difference in this world. So we are going to need more than enough. Number 1, make a decision to grow. Sit down and say, you know what? Take inventory of where you are and say, you know what? I'm thankful for where I am, but I know this is not it. This is not my end. And list down the reasons why you need to grow. And I call that a growth roadmap, right? You need to make a growth roadmap. If it's in your finances, look at where you are, look at what you make, look at what you have, and make a decision that, you know what, I'm going to work to grow my wealth. I'm going to find ways to grow my wealth. I'm going to pray for ideas to grow my wealth. I'm going to ask God to lead me to the right people to help me grow my wealth. Make a growth roadmap. Okay. Now, on that growth roadmap, you're going to have markers on there. Okay. And you're going to have to set goals for that. All right. So by the end of the year, I want to have X number of dollars in my investment portfolio. In 3 years, here's where I want to be. In 4 years, here's where I want to be. In 5 years, here's where I want to be. List down the things that you'd like to have, whether it's, material things or a numeric number in regards to income. Where do I want to be in 5 years in regards to my income? Now, if you're at a position where this is not possible, then that's okay. If you're in a position where your income, and it's not going to go up that much every single year, but it's a great income, then you're going to have to make other goals for yourself financially, or leave that job and find another job that pays better. I'm not advocating for you to do that. Okay. But you're going to have to set goals as to where you want to be by when. All right. The next thing you have to do is, this is very important. You got to get the right team on board that supports your growth. You got to get the right team. And one of the things that happened to me a while back was, we were at this church and we had been there for like 10 years and we were getting worn down and worn out. And I had created my growth roadmap, but this church that I was attending was not helping me get to where I wanted to go. And we began to take inventory and say, like, why are these things happening to us? Why are we going through this? We thought we were in the right place, but as we took inventory, we found that, wait, this is no longer the place for us. This place is no longer helping us to achieve all the things that we said we wanted to achieve. We started out with 0, absolutely nothing. Japanese say 何もない, ないです, nothing. We started. with nothing. We found the Lord and we worked hard and we worked hard and we read the Bible and we studied the Bible and we found that where we were wasn't lining up. Everyone is free to believe however they want. That's fine. But if what we are believing is not getting us the results that we desire, then we're going to have to change our belief system and what we believe. And so, I felt that where I was not supporting the growth, and I did not have the right team of people around me that supported my growth. Why? A lot of people say they want to grow. A lot of people say they want to be successful, but they are not willing to do what it takes in order to make it happen. Why? Because they're still hoping and waiting and praying and waiting on God to do something. But like he already said, the path has already been prepared ahead of time. All we have to do is walk in it. But we got to grow. We got to grow. The next thing I believe that will help you tremendously is make some reminder cards about everything you hate at your current stage and all the things that you're going to love about the new stage, the new level, right? I talked last week or the week before that you cannot go forward and be successful looking in the rear view mirror. And I believe these postcards or whatever the index cards or whatever they might be are going to serve you well. Why? Because when you're going through it, when you're having these growing pains, when you're dealing with situations and relationships, and that's another one, okay? Mental is big, relationships is the other. When you have to cut relationships off that are not helping you grow and they're hindering your growth, you got to take these cards out because, first of all, you made a decision to grow. And sometimes the people around you are not going to grow with you. They may be happy where they are, and that's fine. But when you feel them starting to pull you down and to get you to conform to where they are because it's comfortable for them, they're happy there, but you're not. That's growing pains. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've had to let go of some relationships because every single time I was like, oh my God, why am I feeling so down? Every time I talk to this person, it's like, oh my God, I feel so down. Every time I was around that person, they would say negative things and it would mess up my marriage or whatnot. And it was that relationship was not serving me anymore because I was growing and they were not. Nice people, don't get me wrong, okay? But we're talking about growing pains, all right? And also, I think that these cards are going to help you stay on track because, again, they're reminders as to what you hate about where you are. My whole thing is stop doing what you hate, okay? These cards will definitely help you stay on track, all right? One of the other things that you have to keep in mind as well, as you grow and as you go through these stages, you got to remain humble. And that's really hard sometimes because sometimes, we start to, get a load of ourselves and we start, getting high off of some of the success that we've had. And sometimes as we get high, we start to look down on others. As we grow, we feel empowered, we feel emboldened, and we start to feel like we're better than somebody else. And that's the wrong attitude to have because as you grow, you're going to start to attract certain things. And you got to be aware of what you're attracting because success will bring you things, whether they are positive attentions or positive attention or negative attention. Success will attract things, and you have to be aware of what you're attracting and bringing into your life and who you are attracting and bringing into your life. My wife and I were talking about this last night. Not every good thing that comes at you is good. Not every good thing that comes at you is good. Sometimes these good things are actually bad things that are disguised as good things, that could get you in trouble, right? You guys kind of know what I'm talking about. You got to be aware of that. And staying humble is important because as you're growing and you're humble in areas, you're proving that you're able to handle more and more and more and more and more. And that's a very important thing. So I wanted to talk to you about growing pains because in your finances, this is very important. Your neighbors, as you begin to grow, be careful of the conversations, that you are having with them. Sometimes you can't share your success with everybody because some people can't handle it. Some people can't handle your growth. And they may say negative things about it. Why? Because they've not made a decision to grow. They've made a decision to stay where they are, and because they're happy with that. And that's fine. But don't let that get you down. You have to graduate. Okay? You have to graduate. And that's basically what it is. All right? So if you have made a decision to grow in your finances, and you're at the stage where you need the right team of people around you, I want to be on that team. It's very important to have a team that supports your growth. We've had to go from one tax person to the next tax person because they didn't support the growth. The things that they were telling us were on a different level, and the things they're telling us was on a level that was below us. So either your tax professionals or the people in your team are growing with you, or they're already there and they can support your growth, or you got to get new people on your team. The friends that you have, do they support your growth? Are they cheering your growth on, or are they secretly hating on your growth? What are we talking about? Growing pains. It's hard when you grow and your friends don't grow. And you can't just say, I'm going to chop these people off because they're not serving me. No, you got to be humble with this whole thing. Maybe you need to put some distance between those relationships. Maybe you need to explain to them what's going on with you in your life. And if they want to grow with you, then fine. But eventually, if they don't grow, they got to go. Fair enough. Right. You must have the right people on your team. So if that's you out there, I'd love to be on your team. Give me a call, 808-521-4401, so that I can help you grow, support your growth, cheer you on, right? Because I'm super excited for all the success that my clients are having. But it's one thing we got to keep in mind. We will have some growing pains. All right. Well, thanks for letting me share with you guys today. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.